Let's see here. Just want to make sure we don't have folks just jumping in at the last minute here. Okay, wonderful. I want to go ahead and get started by welcoming teachers to our Getting Started webinar for CodeMonkey. This is one of our flash webinar series. Today, really, the goal is just to make sure you have all of the information you need to get started quickly and efficiently with the CodeMonkey application. During today's webinar, if you have any questions, please do feel free to put those in the chat. We have a co-host, Maya, who will be answering your questions and will be providing helpful resources throughout today's presentation. We will also wrap up with a question and answer session. So if you have questions, we can address those at that time as well. We'd like to invite you to join us for previous recorded webinars in the Flash webinar series, as well as upcoming webinars. Both previous and upcoming webinars include the course review and pathway to learning, our technology courses review, including digital literacy and AI, our admin dashboard and subscription management for admin and district level managers, as well as our reports and progress monitoring tools. In addition to our webinars, we have helpful resources available for you in our Help Center, in the Teacher Resources tab of the CodeMonkey application, on our webinars, and via our support chat. And Maya will be putting some helpful links in the chat regarding these resources for your convenience. To stay up to date on all things CodeMonkey, we invite you to follow us on all of our social media channels, and you can find us at CodeMonkeySTU. So let's introduce our team for today's webinar. My name is Angie Littner. I'm a Customer Success Manager here at CodeMonkey. I will be facilitating today's webinar. And joining us, we have Maya Miller, the Head of Customer Success, and she will be moderating the chat and answering questions for you. Thank you so much for joining us, Maya. So today's webinar objectives will be to just briefly review what the CodeMonkey application is and who it was designed for. We will review the CodeMonkey Pathway to Learning, which is a tool that will help you as the teacher place your students in an appropriate course. We will review navigation of the teacher's dashboard, and we will finish up with classroom management, including creating your classrooms, setting up student accounts, and assigning courses. And of course, we will finish everything off with any questions you might have in that Q&A session. So what is CodeMonkey? If you've never seen or used CodeMonkey before, it's a leading coding for kids program that provides engaging online courses for students to learn how to code. It was made with teachers and schools in mind. It is standards aligned to ISTE and CSTA standards, as well as several state standards. It includes curriculum for grades K through 8. A huge perk is you don't need any prior coding experience to teach with CodeMonkey. And CodeMonkey now also includes computer science courses such as digital literacy, AI, and data science. We're very excited to announce in the upcoming near future the release of our advanced placement computer science principles course for high school. So keep your eyes out for that. So one of the most asked questions that we get here at CodeMonkey is, what course do I start my students on? With so much content available, what we have created is the CodeMonkey Pathway to Learning. I believe Maya will be putting a copy of this in the chat so you can take a copy for your reference in the future. But basically our courses are broken down by the language that is being taught in the course. We start with block-based coding. We then move students into text-based coding, and then they finish up with advanced coding and creation. And the way that that looks on our Pathway to Learning is we start kindergarten through 2nd grade in that block-based coding, and that can be found in CodeMonkey Junior, as well as your Beaver Achiever. Our monthly activities are also block-based. As students move into 3rd through 5th grade, they'll segue into Coding Adventure and Dodo Does Math, which is that text-based coding. At this time, the Digital Literacy Suite is also an appropriate course for these students. And moving past 5th grade and into middle school and even early high school, students move into more of this advanced coding and creation, using the game builder to build their own games. Banana Tales is the Python course. And then we have those computer science courses, data science and artificial intelligence. So let's go ahead and jump on over to the actual site. And Maya, can you give me a thumbs up if you're seeing the switch in my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Fabulous. So we'll just go ahead and start off with a basic review of navigation of the teacher's dashboard. When you log into your account, the top tab is your My Classrooms tab. This is a list of all of your classrooms and details about each class, including the number of students, the classroom code for that classroom, which will be important as we look at setting up classrooms momentarily, and as well as the grade level for that classroom. To the right, you have a menu for each classroom with options to remove the classroom by archiving it, and that would remove it from your dashboard. You can edit the name or grade of the classroom, or if you are wanting to move a classroom to a new subscription, you have the option of upgrading it here as well. From the Kebab menu at the top right, this is a wealth of information. I'd like to highlight this. If you ever want to download your reports into an Excel spreadsheet, you have the option here to generate usage reports, activity reports, course progress reports, and proficiency reports, in addition to some other helpful features. Class assignments is part of your setup process, so I'm going to skip that for now and just, and we'll return to it in a moment, but I'm going to jump over to our courses tab, which is really the meat and potatoes of the CodeMonkey application. This is your student's view of what they will see when they log in. It is also the place that you as the teacher have an option to go in to any course simply by clicking on it, and you can play through each course yourself so that you are familiar with what your students will be seeing when they begin the course. We do have an in-depth webinar that was previously put on called the Course Review and Pathway to Learning. I do encourage you to go back and rewatch that or watch it if you haven't seen it yet. It does provide a much deeper dive into the courses than what we will be doing today. Maya will be putting a course brochure in the chat that you can download that will provide a lot of details about each one of our courses. But for today's purposes, we're just going to review the fact that our courses are organized and follow the pathway to learning, starting with that block-based coding at the novice level, moving students through to the text-based coding in grades 3 through 5. Here's that computer science course, the digital literacy suite. Then we move more into the intermediate block-based and text-based coding courses. And then we wrap up with those grades 5 and over data science, artificial intelligence, and the Python courses. We have a creativity suite with the challenge builder and game builder. These two courses are really just blank slates where students are able to come and apply what they have learned to create games and challenges of their own imagination. CodeMonkey is meant to be a self-paced platform for students, and we'll see how that works. As really, once you set your account and subscription up, students can move through the course at their own pace. But we also do offer teacher resources, which is the next tab down, if you would like to teach CodeMonkey in a whole class environment. We provide you with resources to support you in that effort, including resources by course, as well as by type. Looking at resources by course, you simply need to select the course that you would like to teach And we've put everything together for you in one convenient location, including your lesson plans, the videos that introduce the concepts that will be taught in that course, certificates of completion, as well as classroom posters. In addition, we provide a sub-tab with all solutions for every challenge in that course. You simply need to click on the challenge that you would like to see a solution for, and you will be provided the perfect 3-star score for said challenge. Returning to the teacher resources page, you can find all of those same resources by type for all courses. For example, if I wanted to see all lesson plans, I can select that option and literally go through and review all of the different courses and lesson plans available, which is pretty extensive. Or you could just go back and look for videos. These are videos that are embedded in all of our courses, so you can select ones that you may want to use within the classroom to introduce topics. One final resource that is super important to highlight is our coding curriculum map. If you download this, it will provide a document that is a scope and sequence for grades K through 8 that would be helpful in how you implement CodeMonkey into your curriculum. The My Creations tab is just really a storage area where your students, when they begin building their own games and challenges, this is where they will be stored, and also where they would share those out. Students can share their games and challenges either with students in their own classroom or on our online discovery or Discover community. When students do submit to post their games and challenges to the Discover community, all content is COPPA compliant. It is moderated to make sure that the content is appropriate and that no personal information is being released. So with that, we've concluded the basic navigation of the platform. So we'll go ahead and move into the setup of your subscription, which is really 3 easy steps. Those steps are to create your classroom, to roster that classroom with your students, and then to assign the courses you want them to work on. Simply add a new classroom by clicking on that Add New Classroom button. You have 2 options. You have an option to create a brand new classroom manually, which is how we will do it today. But you also have the option to import from Google Classroom. That's a little bit outside of the scope of today's webinar, but we have a variety of help articles in our help center that can help guide you through using Google Classroom import. Once you've named your classroom, you're just going to click on Create, and you can see it's already been added to my dashboard. And the next step is adding students, and you are prompted here to do that. You can certainly use this button, but that pop-up only comes up once. So for convenience and demonstrating how you would access this any other time, I'm going to go the long way around. Simply just click into that classroom name, and it's going to open up your classroom tools. And we're going to navigate to the Students tab. This is your student roster or your student list. Here you have a button to add your students. And we offer 3 different ways that you can get your students added to your classroom. You can do a single account, which basically is creating a username and password for each student. We provide a little bit of guidance here on the right. In this instance, you would be creating accounts 1 at a time. We also offer the option to create multiple accounts. Here you're creating a CSV file with 2 columns, no headers. One column is your student's display name. The second column is their password. You would simply, once that file is built, you would select and upload. And once you do that, your student roster will populate for that classroom. And we also offer the class code option. This is actually the option that I recommend most often for many reasons. It does allow you to roster both new and existing students. existing students will bring their progress over from one year to the next. And you have the option to create a single sign-on login for your students. By selecting this option, you simply need to select how you want your students to log in. In my example, I want them to log in with Google single sign-on, and the classroom code is located here at the top of the pop-up. It is also located to the top right corner of your student list tab, as well as on your classroom dashboard. If you remember, I pointed it out at the beginning of our webinar. It will be to the far right of the classroom name. Once you've applied or clicked on apply, you simply need to provide the class code to your students. Maya will be putting in the chat a help article that will guide students on how to use that code to join their classroom. It's pretty fast and easy. So students join their classroom and can get started right away. So at this point, you've created your classrooms, you've rostered your students, and now you're going to assign courses by going to that class assignments page. By default, you can see my new classroom that I just created. By default, CodeMonkey has selected some courses to be assigned immediately upon a classroom's creation. But you can see that for all of the classrooms I had previous to creation of the new one, I've used the assign all button. This is going to give access to all classrooms, all students, all courses. They can access anything that they would choose to from their courses page because you've opened everything up. You have the option to unassign all, which of course is going to give you the exact opposite effect. When it's in this state, your students have access to no courses. So this is a good way to keep students from working in the application until you're ready for them to do that. However, what we see most often is differentiated assignments per classroom. And to do that, you simply would click on the courses you want that specific class to have access to. And so in my example, I'm just going through and assigning the different courses I want to each classroom individually. And that allows you to put students in courses that are going to be appropriate by that grade level according to the pathway to learning. The final feature you have here is to limit progress. So if you would like to keep students together as they work through their course, you can do that by clicking the caret next to the course, setting a progress limit, and then just simply entering in the number of the challenge students can work through. In my example, they can work through challenge 10, at which time the program will lock down until you come back and increase that number so they can continue working through the course. So that concludes our navigation review, as well as the review of classroom setup. Before we conclude with today's, let me come back to our PowerPoint here. Before we get to our question and answer session, I do want to provide some additional information for where you can contact us for additional help. Please feel free to reach out to us at support@codemonkey.com via email, and one of our representatives would be glad to support you. You can also access our extensive help center at help.codemonkey.com. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any questions. Maya, do we have any outstanding questions in the chat? Or does anyone want to unmute themselves and ask a question?
We don't have any pending questions in the chat yet, but if anyone has any questions, we'll be glad to answer them now or later through one of the emails that Angie recommended.
Absolutely.
Oh, I see one thing. Great session, Javier is saying. Thank you.
Fabulous. Well, if we don't have any other additional questions, we would like to just thank you so much for joining our webinar today. We hope that you got all of the information that you need to feel confident in getting started quickly with your students with CodeMonkey. and that it has helped make the process easier for you. We also would like to invite you to join us for our next webinar in the Flash webinar series. That's going to be the Admin Dashboard and Subscription Management, being held on October 16th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The registration link for that will be put in the chat if you would like to register for that next one. Outside of that, we thank you again for joining, and we wish you a fantastic day.